Dark Aloha, and welcome to another edition of Interview with DJ Nocturna. You can hear the ambulance over there, of course, with Martin Bowles on the interview.
Yeah, not my fault.
Here we go.
Hello. I should
Yeah,
say
I'm
hello.
I'm gonna leave that going because
I can't hear it actually. I can't hear it here.
oh, you can? Okay, maybe nobody can hear it. But I'm
Yeah.
speaking to Martin Bowles from the legendary English electronic music act called Attrition, the one and only Attrition. Welcome, Martin. Thank you again for joining me on the show.
Well, thank you for inviting me again. We've
Always.
chatted
I
many times, haven't we?
I will always
Yeah,
be inviting you. And
yeah,
and it's so appropriate to say dark aloha because you've been here before. So it is a dark aloha.
yeah.
You've been to Hawaii.
No, I was looking at some photos actually this week. Some of the old photos we had.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So much good memories. I had a real that was
yeah,
one of my most favorite memories, I have to say. Just amazing. Well, thank
yeah,
you again for joining me. We are waiting for this long anticipated album, which I know is going to be an amazing one. It's called The Black Mariah, right? It's coming out
yeah.
very, very soon. I know everybody's hanging on to their seats.
Yeah, it's finished. It is ready, and like I was saying, it's a bit of a problem getting vinyl made. A lot of bands have the same issue actually.
I
And it's
know,
just
yeah.
taking months. And I want the album to come out now.
I know.
It could do on CD, and I think I'll do a cassette. I was thinking this time.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
I
the
need,
cassette. Wow.
yeah, I thought a small edition just for old time's sake. But people like them, you
It's
know.
gonna be a collectible then, if that's the case.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
then, but we're just waiting for the vinyl, so I can't actually give a date. But I'm hoping, let's say 3 months time. But the CD cassette download, they'll be available much quicker. So it
okay.
might be in a month, but I can't actually give you. As soon as I know, I'll give you a date, and you can tell people.
Of course. Well,
Promise.
it's okay. It's okay. We will just hang on to our seats, and the waiting is always the good part, right? Because it's gonna be I'm sure, no doubt, it's gonna be good. You released some singles from that. You have an EP called The Switch, which is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it was just recently been released, which is another amazing Attrition EP. Um,
Thank you.
and it's a special one, in fact, right? Because there's a reunion in this EP and
Yeah,
the album.
yeah.
Just-
It's. Shall I say, or are you going to say?
See, that's a long anticipated one too. No, so I want you to. I was wondering if you can tell us a little bit about the original Attrition lineup, which is part of this reunion.
Yeah. So in 1980, when because I was running a fanzine then, local music, alternative sounds, it was called. So luckily we had some good bands locally, like the Specials, which I still love. So there was lots going on, and I started doing that. And then, but really, I obviously just wanted to do my own music. Um, Maybe Coventry wasn't the best place for weird industrial music. I
Mhm.
should have lived in Sheffield or something. But yes, it was. So there was me and at the time, my girlfriend Julia. We started it, and her brother Ashley started. He was quite interested in computers and synths and programming, and in fact, he still is really. He works for Google. He lives in San Francisco, so he was into that, and but he was a bit young, and he didn't do the first shows that we did. 4 shows with my brother playing guitar. In fact, there was no synths. It was like a anarchist post punk racket, really. Um, but you got to start somewhere. And so he didn't do those first 4 shows, and it didn't really work with the guitar. So I asked him if he'd come, and join us. So he started to play synths, uh, and I got a synth as well, and a drum machine because our drummer went on holiday, and I thought that's no good. Drum machines don't go on holiday. So that's how it started, really. Just doing like most bands, gigs and demos, and it took a couple of years, really, about 3 years before we had the first single out,
Oh,
an
so this
album.
this is Ashley, right? The brother.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
Ashley Niblock.
yes, that's
Right.
right. Yeah,
So how did you connect with Julia, who was Julia Niblock at the time, now Julia Waller, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just met her at a local. I went to lots of local gigs because of doing my fanzine, and I'd interview people and local bands. And I remember Gary Newman came in 1980, and I interviewed him, and the Stranglers. I can't remember lots of bands I interviewed.
Oh yeah.
So I got to know her, and then like we started. She was my girlfriend for the beginning, then uh, and then that lasted. I mean, Ashley kind of got a proper job and went to university and got a proper job. So he sort of he left. He stopped working with me in about 1986, I think. About then, so a few years later, and we'd done a couple of albums. But he just was busy. He wasn't. It wasn't really like. He didn't officially leave the band. He always says. So in 2008, we played in San Francisco where he lived, and he did special guest keyboard appearance. So he did lots of rehearsal for that, and then nothing else. And Julia kept singing, and she did play live, but then kind of about 20 years ago, she didn't want to do it anymore, so she stopped. And I lost touch really with her. She used to see Ashley when he came back over to see family, at
Mhm.
Christmas and things. And then last year, during I think it was partly during the COVID and the lockdown, they were talking about doing some of our instrumental music, like the Death House album, which
Oh yeah, yeah.
we released. That's a soundtrack, like a horror film soundtrack. But we released it in 1982 originally. It was the first album, really. And then we were talking about doing that because it was a bit hard to get people together and my singer. And so we thought, let's do it. We've never done it live. So we did. We played it live in last year and at the end of the year before a little bit. So Ashley came to do that. Um, and then Julia, because obviously he was staying at Julia's because it's his sister.
Hmm.
So, and then they both said, "Well, should we do the original lineup again?" And this was probably about a year ago. They said that, and I was still always busy anyway, as with Attrition,
Hmm.
with different singers, people. So it was like I thought, oh yeah, go on. So we did. Obviously, we rehearsed. We haven't done a lot of the original songs because we'd have to reinvent them because we don't have any of the equipment and the
Oh yeah,
technology of
different.
that.
No, long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got some of it, I suppose, but so we were mainly we did some older ones, but we did. So we had the new lineup, the original lineup, but doing some of the newer songs, and so we did the first gig we did was at the Infest festival in Bradford in England. It's quite a well-known industrial festival, really. Bit dark wave and industrial, I guess, a little bit gothic. So we did that, and that was great. That was last August last year,
Hmm.
and then we've done some more. Ashley can't always come over, it's a bit of a way. Uh, so not as far as
Oh, he lives
Hawaii.
in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, but he just likes to come over.
You know what? He was in Hawaii that you were telling me about, right?
Oh, no, actually, it turned out I thought he was, but it wasn't. It was just his girlfriend came
Oh,
over,
okay, okay, yeah, because I
also
remember
from
you were
San
telling me
Francisco.
something like that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
really?
I said, and I thought he was as well but no, I was wrong.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
yeah, so we started doing that, and then on the new album, I'd already decided not to have one female singer, but to have different guests. So I
Oh,
had
oh,
Emka from Black Nail Cabaret. She's done one song, The Great
oh,
Derailer.
oh,
She's great.
who's what is her name?
Emka, she's
Okay,
in she does a lot of stuff, but they're Black Nail Cabaret. They're from Hungary. They're really good. And then there's oh, just different singers, you know. But then Julia came, and I said, I said, oh, I've still got two songs I haven't really finished, and so she sang on those. So um, Ashley isn't on this album because it was almost finished, you know. So they're going to be on the next one. So we're going to do a lot together for the next one. But Julia made it onto two songs, which I was really pleased about. So,
Which are those two songs? Oh,
well, the Switch,
okay, the
which
Switch.
so I thought because I'm waiting for the album,
Okay.
let's put out. It's only digital, but just a nice and some remixes though, which I was pleased with. And then I thought let's put that out while we wait, you know, and then it will obviously be available physically on the album. And so she's on that. And then the last track, the actual title track, the Black Mariah, Julia sings on that, and I'm really pleased with both of them.
You
Actually.
know, Julie is one of the most beautiful songs. Like I was mentioning earlier, is a girl called Harmony, and she's in
Right, yeah,
that song. And but the particular version that I like is a strange version from Etude from the
yeah,
album, which is just it's just totally melts my heart. It's such a beautiful version of the of a girl called Harmony.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love.
It's kind of a remix album, isn't it? That album. It's weird because it was the guy, my friend Frank. Uh, I had a letter from this guy, Frank, from Paris in 1995, and he said that he'd bought when he was 14. He bought our first album, the Attrition of Reason, the first like regular album, if you like. And he said he was at school and he'd always loved it. And now he plays viola and violin in the orchestra of the Paris Opera. And would I like any violin or viola? And I went, yes, of course I would. So he came over and recorded the Three Arms album, the Jeopardy Maze. But then I thought, wow, we could do versions of old songs, but redone in a more of a classical way, you know. So that's what he did, and he came over and did that, and that was in 1997, and that was Etude, which was on Project Records then.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so I like that. But yeah, I mean, A Girl Called Harmony is it's our most well-known song, but kind of it's
But you know,
probably our,
if there's people that's never heard that version, find it. It's really beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
I think I have so many attrition CDs from and some vinyls. I don't have it with me right now, but yes, it's quite a collection that you have. You've been doing this for so many years. You're a pioneer.
and
To
it's
keep
been a
it up.
long time, hasn't it? It's a
Yeah.
bit weird. It seems weird. I don't think I can't be that old.
You're legendary, Martin. You're such a legendary
Thank you very
completely.
much.
So you know the Switch, which is the latest EP that just was released. Was it last month? I know you've got some remixes there. How did you connect it with all these these guys? You know, Wailuko. He's in one of that's a remix, the Infused mix.
Yes, yeah, quite a lot. Well, yeah. I've done, I guess, well, I do know lots of bands, I guess, is what one thing from over the years. And then, so I think I knew most of them. But then I put a thing up on my Facebook if anyone wants to have a do a remix. And
Yeah, they're all
so some people I didn't know that they just, had a go. And there's more as well. And I've had remixes from other songs for the other singles from the album. So I think I'll do a collection of loads of remixes. So there'll be more. They'll come out after the album as a probably digital
and
actually.
then in this EP there's Witch. There's a the six
Oh yeah, the ambient one. Yeah, yeah,
wonderful too. Yeah, so this I'm so happy to hear that you're going to be doing a cassette as well.
yeah. I thought it'd be. We obviously when we started we did cassettes because that's what people did when they, small bands in the 80s and things. But then a few years ago, about 5 years ago, there was the Death House album, and then another early cassette we did called Onslaught that we did in 1983. Before we had any vinyl, and there was two small labels reissued them as cassettes, I think they did 100 copies, and I got given 30 or something. I got, but I sold them straight away. It was like, wow. It just, it took about a week or something, and so people, there's an interest in cassettes again. So,
Yeah.
and I don't
I,
mind.
I wished I kept all my cassettes. Living in Hawaii, they kind of mold, uh,
Oh, okay, yeah.
especially the old ones. And then if they're overplayed, then they're not as, what do you do, right? They're overplayed. I mean, I remember 8 tracks as well.
Oh, yes. I didn't have, we never had Attrition on an 8-track, but the first time we played outside of the UK, it was 1984, and we were touring with the legendary Pink Dots, and it
Yeah.
was Holland and Switzerland, so we had to drive through Germany, and we had an 8-track player in our old car that we were driving that kept breaking down, and then we had one tape, and it was Kraftwerk Autobahn, and we saved it until the moment we drove on the Autobahn when we left Holland and went into Germany. So I always remember that moment.
You know, I know Julia made an appearance in Dante's Kitchen in 2004. And then
Yeah, that was the last thing she did actually before
yeah,
she sort of stopped doing music for a long time. Yeah, so that was 19 years ago. So yeah, and
great
she's
album.
always oh thanks. Yeah, she's always been great actually with what she does, and um so it's been really good to get her back. But yeah, it's only 2 songs on the new album, but she's been doing it live as well.
So after that album, you started having all these rotation of different vocalists, right?
Yeah, yeah. Couldn't get the
Wow.
staff really. But yeah. No. Yes, I did. Different people, and
Yeah, there was and then of course Aaliyah. She played
yeah, she's great. Yeah, and she still does. We haven't probably because of COVID. Really, we haven't done any shows together for until since before that. Um, so I think it was yes, we played in Japan in 2019 in December. So that was the last time, but that's partly because of that, really, because we didn't have an opportunity, and it's only just really getting going again now. So
Mhm.
I've been talking about maybe doing some shows, as well again.
And then in the Great Derailer, you have another vocalist there, right?
Yeah, that's Emka. Yeah, that's from Hungary. That's
Okay, yeah.
Black Nail Cabaret. She's in, and yeah.
And then Eliza.
Oh yeah, she's an opera singer from Mexico, and she was over doing some opera in London, and I think some European cities as well. I can't remember. And because we were talking to the Mexican label about the label she was on in Mexico, and she was so that she knew Attrition, and she came up for a day and recorded like just lots of vocals. So it's that she's more improvised really, but yeah, it works really well. I thought, yeah,
Wow.
and then
And then there's a song called Lullaby, and I know you have Cinderella, which is spelled different.
yes,
Sin, Cinderella.
yeah, yeah, that was 2008 or nine, I think. Yeah, and she worked with me for a bit, and then we kind of fell out. But interestingly, we've been talking again recently, so that's strange. But yeah,
Yeah.
oh, and then I did a single, "The Alibi," which has got Yvette from
Oh yeah,
Vasily.
Yvette. Yes, that's
Yeah,
such a. I just love their remix of that one too. Yeah,
yes,
the it's such a. I love the Alibi.
yeah,
Uh,
thanks. Yeah,
it's a great
yeah,
song. Yeah. Um, I know that you've been putting field recordings. You've been recording.
yes,
You've been doing this through the years, right? You still do, right?
yeah. I've got a lot of recordings that I'm intending to edit them and just have just a free digital album, so it'll be ambient sounds like I did release one piece, it was on a compilation, and it was
Mm.
when we played in Transylvania in the mountains. We played Invocation, which is the horror film soundtrack, in 2018. And
How do you pick an area where you think is like the perfect place to record it? I mean, what is it that you find fascinating?
I guess it's just, yeah, I'm just hearing things, and I've got a little mic that goes on my phone. I have got a bigger system for recording, but I don't always have that on me, because I could be anywhere. I'm just gone shopping or something. I don't know. And then I hear something and I just think, right, I need that. And it might not work, but
Do you ever hear any do you ever hear any supernatural background?
no, I don't think so. I'm disappointed in that. I wish I could.
Well,
I
you
don't
know,
think
the next time you come back to Hawaii, I'm gonna take you somewhere where you might hear something.
I'd like to. Yeah, but I remember an old lady that she said she was a medium, and I met her, and she said she listened to my attrition, and she said, "Oh, that's how you communicate with the other world or something. You probably won't hear anything because you don't need to because it's already wrapped up in your music." I don't know how true that is, but it was quite interesting. So maybe it is true. So I can't hear.
Yeah. So the second track in this EP was recorded in you had some field recordings, right? For the second track of the EP.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was in some subway.
Oh yes, that was on. That's
I think it's
the pillar. The pillar. I was trying to think of the name then.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I recorded it in Toronto because I was playing there I guess it was about 3 years ago or something, and it was Ossington Station because it says for Ossington it's dedicated,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's the name of the subway station. It doesn't, but it's the train coming in. I thought, wow, I heard, obviously I heard it, and then I thought, wow. So I waited for the next one and I recorded it, and it's very industrial, rhythmic machine noises, which I
That
like that. I mean, a lot of industrial music is as like folk music. I always think it's as our environment. We're like trying to express how we live in, really, and I think those sounds end up in songs, really.
yeah,
But
no,
that was pure. That wasn't really put into a song. It was just the recording. Yeah.
yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, it's good to know that because next time I hear it, the next track, I will listen to more into. I mean, you must have the ear to hear all these things, you know.
Well, I mean, because I've got my studio here in the house,
The
which is
cage.
in the attic. Yeah, the cage, which is 2 floors up from here. But sometimes I have the window open a little bit, and I'll be working on a song, and then I'll hear like some industrial sounds, it's maybe somebody drilling in the next street or a plane or something, and I don't realize it's not in the music. I think it's part of the music, and then I go, oh, okay, but it's inspired me. It's good. I like it.
And of course, your album covers, which is just blows me away. For one, the amazing artist photographer John Santineros, uh,
Yeah, he's
he
great.
graced the front cover of the Hands That Feed, the remix album, which is
Yeah.
such a great album. I mean, I think great dance floor music too as well. I Am Eternity is one of my favorites in that one,
Right. Yeah.
the Chris and Cozy remix.
Yes, that is good, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah. You interviewed John, didn't you, a little while,
I did.
a little while ago? I remember. Yeah. Mm.
In fact, that's probably how I I fell in love with that cover, and I think
Right.
I asked you like, who is that in the cover? Oh, who did that photo? I mean, that's just such a. And then I looked at his book.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they?
Yeah, and I go, oh wow, there's so many great ones, that I just like. So I did. And,
Yeah.
I think we had a mutual friend that was like who loved his work. So and then I don't know what happened. I looked for him, and I
Oh,
found him
right.
on
Okay.
Facebook. Yeah. So yeah, he came out with a new one, and yeah, it's such a
Yes, I haven't got that one. Yeah. Yeah, I saw he had. I
yeah.
met him we played in New York well, many times, but in 1999, and we went to see him. He came to see us. We played at CBGB's actually, which was horrible, but still good to play at CBGB's in Manhattan. And then we went to his house where he had all the he constructs frames with the people, and then he puts them on the wall with other things round, and it's fantastic. So we went to where he was working, but that was when he lived in New Jersey, and he's moved to Georgia.
Yeah, he has a few of his photos, and he has it in the keepsakes and reflection, a collection of rarities.
Yes, there's a few, isn't there? The Jeopardy maze I did,
Dante's Kitchen.
and
Yeah,
Dante's Kitchen. Yeah, there's about 4, and then I sort of think, well, I'll move on to something else,
it's
But
great.
I don't think you've seen the new cover. I remember I might have sent you it. The woman in the red dress. I think I did. I think I might have sent you it.
Um, yeah. Tell us
Well,
about
it doesn't matter because no one can see it here. But yeah, it's really good. That's actually a guy from Atlanta. So again, Georgia, bit of a connection. I never thought of that. Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're looking forward to the Black Mariah, and I know you explained to me before what the Black Mariah was, and I know it's a police. Uh,
It was an old name, like from years ago, for a black police van or truck, you would call it. And
it's
it
funny
was,
because
yeah,
it's
but it
funny
sounds
because,
really gothic, doesn't it?
and what's really interesting is right before I recorded this show, right, like right now. Remember, I told you, "Hey, you hear the siren?"
Oh yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because they made a sound, right? The Black Mariah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yes, in fact, there's a bit of that sound on this song as well. But
Oh, is
yeah,
is there a song called the Black Mariah?
yes, there is.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay.
like the last one, so it's quite a long track with different sections.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it, man. I'm so looking forward to it. So we're
Well, I'll send you the tracks really soon, so you can.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. And I know your studio where you work with many artists, mixing, mastering, producing their albums, and
yeah.
I've interviewed quite a bit who you work with, and
Right.
we mention you if I find out that you did it, and I'm like, oh, you know Martin Bowes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Hope,
great,
hopefully they say good things.
of course they love you. Everybody loves Martin. Who doesn't love Martin Bowes? One of
Oh,
the
I've got a couple of exes that don't.
okay.
Apart
Well, if
from
they're
that,
listening now, they probably will.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, um and there's going to be a vinyl release, right, for the Black Mariah. We're looking forward to that.
Yes, that's caused the trouble and the delay, but it's worth it. It doesn't matter. Also, I'll remind you that I have, and it took ages to get it to work, live in Honolulu.
Oh yeah.
Remember, I got it and I couldn't get the file. The file was over 4 gig and you can't open them because it's bigger than the Windows file size. But I managed to do it by loading it into another bit of software, some film editing, and
Oh
I've
wow,
got
really?
that. And I need to master it though, so I'll probably later in the year that I'll do that. I'll wait
Yeah. Oh
till
my God. I know you mentioned that, and I'm like, oh my God, you got to. I mean, l-
yeah. Oh no, of course it won't go to waste because that's a special time, and there's some nice photos from the time that night, so we could
yeah,
use that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
the whole live thing was beautiful. Well, it's clear and everything, right? The recording.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I haven't
Because you
checked
know what?
every detail,
Honestly,
but
a lot of people still talk about that show in Hawaii.
oh,
When you perform with Alea here, a lot of
yeah,
people say, "Oh my God, that was one of the best shows ever."
oh, brilliant.
Attrition coming to Hawaii.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.
You. It's
Oh,
such.
and another live album. We recorded two multi-track, two of the rehearsals we did with the recently in February for the with the new original lineup, and we've actually
Oh,
got really nice recordings of the live, straight through, which I'm mixing at the moment. So I think I'm going to do a limited edition CD with that. Just it'd be nice for people to hear
oh
the
yeah.
yeah, and it'll be up digitally if people
Well, you know, you have to come back to Hawaii again, and I'm sure DJ Datmod and the Nord would be happy
Yeah,
to have you here again. We had a good.
I'll have to DJ with him again,
I
but I
know,
don't
yeah.
want him to. His band is not allowed to play Kajagoogoo. You can tell him
What was
that.
that? What was that?
He's played Kajagoogoo on when he was DJing. I'm still in shock. Otherwise, it was great. No,
Yeah,
I
it was
enjoyed that.
awesome.
Yeah, I got to play the Human League Circus of Death, where
I know. I
it's
remember
about
you did it
Hawaii at the beginning.
early human league. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that was such a great live. I'm still talking about the live the live shows because you know, I
Uh,
just wish that I recorded some on my phone, you know, like a live on my phone,
oh, okay.
but I was just so I was if I did that I wouldn't be watching, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I did
that's
it, and
fine.
but I know some people did. I mean, usually I would be doing like, some video live, but then
Yeah,
if I did that, I wouldn't be. I would not. I was focused.
I know what you mean. It's difficult. It's like I find it hard to arrange to record our shows because I'm too busy doing the show and thinking about everything. But it was good to do the rehearsals, which actually were in this room. We did them in the living room in my house, and I just set up all the equipment, and yeah, they went really well. So I thought I'll
Yeah.
release it. I think I'll just do some CDs in a little card wallet or something with a picture of it. Just limited. We should sign it maybe. Yeah, good.
Well, you know, it's gonna be great to have you back in Hawaii again, and
Oh, it'd
like,
be lovely. I'd love to
yeah,
come back. I want
yeah.
those little. I like the flowers.
Oh yeah,
What are they called?
the dark aloha.
Yeah, yeah. I knew it was the aloha. Yeah, that was great.
Well,
Yeah,
then when you come back, you got to do field recordings here. I'll take you some places that you would
yeah.
probably hear something that you would like.
I would actually because it was a bit quiet at Pearl Harbor. I think I got there a bit late.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you know what? You should record something in the volcanoes by the volcanoes in the
Oh
big
yeah, yeah, yeah. They've been active as well
they-
on the Big Island, haven't they?
and Pele will probably like that.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
the dark goddess Persephone, I guess you can you know, the dark when Venus goes in the underworld. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, no, that'd be brilliant. I hope we can sort that. Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
well, the Black Mariah, which is coming out pretty soon here, Attrition, we're looking forward to it,
Yeah,
and we're always looking forward to having you back on the show again. You know, when you
yeah. Thank you. I love it. Yeah,
long live Martin Bowes and Attrition. Thank you, Martin. I always appreciate you seeing you, and you know, I hope to make it to Coventry in the future. You know,
yes, you're always welcome. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been saying that, but I never make it over there. You know, it's so far away. I guess you know, but I will. I will
It's
one of
you
these
can't
days.
get much further, really, can you? But
I
it's
mean, I've been to England a few times, but not late.
yeah,
You know, not lately. It's been hard, but I want to,
yeah.
especially as we get
It'd be
older.
easier.
Well,
Hopefully, get better. It's easier to travel again, at least. Yeah,
yeah, I know.
but it's a long way. I know. Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
so
do it.
everybody, you know, you can find Attrition in your Bandcamp page, attritionuk.bandcamp.com, and there's a whole, you know, going taking you back to the early Attrition, and then you also have the various artists that you did on your cage, in your cage compilation.
Yeah, in the studio. Yeah, yeah. I've got those. Yeah, I haven't done any compilations for a long time. I've been so busy, but I did five, I think, with or six with all the different bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
It's always good, wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, you know, when you come back here, I'll show you my whole collection of Attrition on CDs. Like, I don't know,
yeah.
do I have a
If you
lot?
have I signed them? I don't know if I've signed them. Probably haven't signed all of them.
Oh,
I'll,
yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, through the
I can
years.
sign them.
Well, you know, well, thank you,
Makes
Mark.
them more valuable. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still light over there. I know it's gonna be dark pretty soon, right? And we just
Well, the
rising.
clock's changed today, so we've got an
I
extra
know.
hour.
So
Yeah.
if you notice, I have to change my hours. I was supposed to meet you an hour later, but the clock's changed. So I I'm 1 hour earlier. It's a good thing I checked.
Oh yes, I didn't think of that either. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's because your times changed 2 weeks ago, I think, didn't they? I
I
don't
know,
know.
yeah. It's a
It's
good
the
thing I
same.
did check because it took me
Yeah.
'cause if I didn't check, then I'll be late. You're
Oh,
gonna
okay.
what
Yeah.
happened to yeah, it's
No, fair enough. I should have thought of that as well. But
yeah,
anyway, we've done it.
every time I do a recording an interview, I always check the time because anything I could miscalculate too, so
Yeah.
double check. Well, thank you, Martin. Dark
Yeah.
Aloha, and good luck with
Thanks,
the
Sam.
Black Mariah, and we're looking forward to the release and
Yeah.
review.
Yeah. Well, you'll get it soon. You'll get it
You.
first.
All right. Thank you, Martin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Thank
stop
you.
the recording. Okay. Dark Aloha. Dark Mahalo. Okay, one second.
Mahalo. Okay.